Picture this, a rising star, fresh off an Oscar buzz, almost stranded at the airport because of a careless mistake on a plane. That's the dramatic opener to Renate Reinsve's tale, and it sets the stage for a woman whose life reads like a script full of unexpected twists. But here's where it gets controversial: is her so-called involuntary rebellion a quirky charm that fuels her genius, or a liability in an industry that demands conformity? Stick around to explore how this Norwegian actress navigates fame, family bonds, and her deep-rooted love for authentic storytelling. Renate Reinsve, the talented performer you've probably seen lighting up screens in acclaimed films, nearly missed her chance to chat with us in Los Angeles. It happened 3 years back, right after her groundbreaking role in The Worst Person in the World launched her into Oscar campaigning mode. While flying, she somehow cancelled her ESTA visa application, that's the electronic system for travel authorization, a key document for Europeans visiting the US without a full visa. She laughs it off now with her signature humility, saying, "I managed to cancel it somehow. I didn't notice that I did it." The result? A tense interrogation by 5 police officers in a customs back room, who debated sending her packing. It's the sort of bizarre, almost heartbreaking blunder that seems to shadow her life. She's openly called herself an involuntary rebel, someone who's been politely shown the door from nearly every non-acting job she's tried. Think Girl Scouts and a grocery store gig, places where her unique approach clashed with the rules. Yet, when it comes to her craft, there's no room for accidents. In Joachim Trier's latest film, Sentimental Value, Reinsve turns in what might be her most gut-wrenching performance to date. She embodies a woman wrestling with her tangled emotions toward her deceased filmmaker father. This role was tailor-made for her, drawing from the strong creative synergy they've built since Oslo, August 31st, cementing them as one of cinema's most intriguing actor-director duos. "I was very connected to the role," Reinsve shares on the Variety Awards Circuit podcast. "It's not like specifically the story, or like detailed, it's not my story, but it is kind of. We share that perspective of how complex things are, and how subtle you can say something very dramatic about everyday life, and what small moments contain of drama." To break that down for newcomers, it's about capturing the quiet intensity in ordinary events, like how a simple conversation can reveal deep emotional undercurrents, much like how a single spark can ignite a forest fire. The movie's heart lies in a pivotal bed scene, where Reinsve's character collapses into vulnerability with her sister, portrayed by Inga Ibsdottir Lily Aas. Getting that right meant juggling meticulous prep with raw spontaneity. "You can't really get to somewhere in rehearsal, because then you won't have the event occur when you're on set," she explains. What ended up on film went beyond the script, flowing from pure instinct and mutual trust. In one unscripted moment, her co-star whispered, "I love you," from the heart, and Reinsve's character responded with the raw honesty of someone struggling to reciprocate, a testament to the magic that happens when actors aren't over-rehearsed. Growing up in Norway's lush forests where nature wasn't just a backdrop, but a daily companion, shaped Reinsve profoundly. She joined the Girl Scouts as a kid but was asked to leave after just 2 weeks. "I was just trying to do everything a little bit differently, or I just didn't get why we had to do it that specific way. Why can't a birdhouse have 5 windows?" she recalls. That insistence on individuality got her booted, but the Scouts wisely nudged her toward theater, sparking a passion that led to a supportive teacher who filled her with enthusiasm. This bond with nature hasn't faded, it's her anchor. Amid the frenzy of her first Oscar run, she pitched a tent in the woods to recharge. "If I just take my tent, go into the forest, I'll just wind down," she says. When you're on those Oscar predictions lists, there are these forces pulling you towards, should I really work for it? What do I do now? Do I have to change now? You just have to go back to the forest and be like, wait, this is enough. For beginners, think of it as grounding yourself in simplicity when fame threatens to overwhelm, like pressing pause on a chaotic video game to regain control. This genuine spirit, refusing to play a role off-screen, is what makes Reinsve magnetic both in front of the camera and in real life. She admits she's not very good at networking, opting instead to nurture slow-burn connections with trusted collaborators. As buzz grows for Sentimental Value during awards season, Reinsve stays humble, focused on gratitude over hype. Just being on those lists and someone thinking that your performance is something so important to them, it is enough for me, because it's so insane, she notes. Whatever happens from now, I am very, very happy. It's a refreshing take in a Hollywood world often driven by cutthroat ambition. On this episode of the Variety Awards Circuit podcast, she dives into her cinematic influences, her acting dreams, and possible directing aspirations, and her bond with nature. Listen in below. We've condensed and edited excerpts from her interview for clarity. Read on to hear her story in her own words. How did you catch the acting bug? I recalled from another chat today that I grew up in a house on a quiet road with a few neighbors, all enveloped by the forest. School was even in the woods, so naturally, I signed up for Girl Scouts. But after just 2 weeks, they asked me to leave. I was always trying to shake things up a bit, questioning why we had to follow the exact rules, like, why couldn't a birdhouse have 5 windows instead of the usual setup? They suggested I try something else, gently showing me the door but pointing me toward theater. That led me to an amazing teacher nearby who infused the whole experience with so much joy. That spark kept me going, even though I've been let go from every other job I've attempted. It's pretty disheartening. What was the most recent job where you got the boot? I moved to Oslo to pursue theater school, and took a gig at a grocery store, stocking shelves and manning the register. They didn't like how I organized things. Don't do it like that. They have to be in that order. I guess I lack a knack for rigid structures. So, does that make you a rebel? An involuntary one, for sure. I've always aimed to be the good girl, but these incidents just keep cropping up. Which early films really moved you? The first one that truly struck a chord was David Lynch's Mulholland Drive. It was so enigmatic, touching parts of me I didn't know existed. I saw it a bit young, maybe, but reading online about how it drove people wild with confusion only intrigued me more. The sheer power a film can hold. That sent me exploring darker, weirder movies, and I was hooked on that viewpoint for ages. In Sentimental Value, your portrayal is incredibly raw, delving into a character's mixed feelings about her father. Did it resonate personally? After The Worst Person in the World, Joaquim and I chatted more about themes and traits to explore. He'd gotten to know me better as both an actor and a person, so he crafted this role specifically for me. I felt deeply linked to it. The Worst Person was also written with me in mind after our brief interactions on Oslo, August 31st, but this one went deeper into ideas we'd discussed. The dynamic between sisters in the film is spot on, no grand arguments, just them reflecting on their own shortcomings through each other. I adore Joaquim's subtle style, and how we actors unpack those nuances together, from script readings to set. That climactic bed scene with your sister is heartbreaking. How much prep went into it, and how many shots did it require? The big question was rehearsal. Because rehearsing too much can rob the scene of its on-set magic. You can't really get to somewhere in rehearsal, because then you won't have the event occur when you're on set. We discussed it and even tried it during Inga's audition for Agnes, but never nailed it fully. On set, nerves were high. We knew it was crucial for conveying layers of emotion. It's tender and intense, requiring a balance, how much to unleash versus hold back, leaving room for viewers to insert their own experiences. Everything scripted made it in, plus some unplanned depths. Joaquim directs right by the camera, not from a monitor, especially in heavy scenes. Inga had an urge to climb into bed but hesitated from fear of messing it up. Joaquim sensed it and urged, "Do it." She did and whispered, "I love you," pure instinct from the character. In response, my character struggled to echo it, creating that pivotal instant. We filmed it multiple times, but everyone sensed that take was the one. You and Joaquim Trier share a remarkable partnership. Does that same connection kick in when he pitches a role? It's tough to articulate that bond. It's intimate, like finding someone who mirrors your expression and taste. You grasp what the other wants to convey and how to achieve it together. Are you itching to direct? Could directing be in your future? I'm super curious about it, plus editing and cinematography. I enjoy the whole process. I dabbled in directing theater as a teen, but landed great roles instead. Haven't had time since, and back then, it was pretty amateur.